All right. Hello and welcome to another session of Marine Studying. I really apologize for the white YouTube chat. So apparently recently YouTube updated their CSS and the stylish just it didn't update their style yet. So we have to just look at the white square. So today we're starting a new project. It's website in assembler. So it was voted by the community, I guess. So at the beginning of the month, I started a poll, and it just doesn't open for some reason. I started the poll about what you want to see me streaming about, and one of the winners was website and assembler. So this is fucking great. I guess we're doing it. I already created an empty repo for all of that. So if you're interested in just watching the code appear live, you can follow that repo, I guess. So okay, this is just my list. I want to close it. Hello, Chris. Hello. How are you doing? So I'm gonna say just a little disclaimer. I'm not an assembly programmer, and I actually never considered myself sort of a system programmer. So I'm more of an application programmer. So it's going to be quite a challenge for me, and we're going to learn assembler together because I just don't know it. I know the basic concepts of assembler, but I'm not an expert in it. So I do know like every individual x86 instruction and what all of them do. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. What does this mean exactly? Are you straight up writing WebAssembly or compiling to WebAssembly or anything else? This is actually are good questions. And this is why I like this project, because I never specified what I mean by that. This is so great. So people, I mean, I understand that people just waited for that project because they want to see me suffer. I understand them. I like to see people suffering as well. But nobody actually thought that what it actually means to develop a website in assembler. And I thought about that. I thought about using WebAssembly. But I want to start with something more or less simple. It's going to be fun. Yeah. I'm going to develop just a backend in x86 assembler, I think. So I'm going to start from that. And once we have that going, I may consider using WebAssembly on client as well. So it's going to be sort of, maybe in the future, it's going to be like completely assembler web application, including the client side. So yeah. And this is actually, yeah, I said that I never specified what does it mean to implement a website in assembler. And that means I can type logic in assembler, but still call to some C functions. So I never said that I'm not going to do that. So basically, how I see that, I'm going to use a net wide assembler or NASM. I don't know how to properly pronounce it in English, but I'm going to call it NASM. And I'm going to use a standard C library that comes from GCC as well. So I'm going to basically create some logic in NASM and just link it with the C library, because I don't really want to implement everything in assembly and in assembler use like bare Linux syscalls, because it's going to be such a pain in the ass. But maybe in the future we will just get rid of the C library, and it's going to be an executable that doesn't have any dependencies apart from the operating system. But yeah, it's going to be in the future, so we just need to prototype something. We just have to have something at least. Okay, so I think it's clear. I don't know what website is going to be. I'm actually thinking about implementing a general web framework in assembler, just a web framework that you can use for writing any kind of site. Let me pour a cup of tea, and we are going to start doing something, hopefully. It's going to be really fun. And I really wanted to start a similar project because I really want to like learn assembler better. I know it, but in a really basic level. in such a basic level that I don't really can use it for anything useful, or sometimes can even read assembly code. So I just want to improve on that side, and that's why I started this project. Okay. So I think we are going to start with implementing a basic HTTP server first. Because, yeah. I could have, yeah, web framework and assembler, it just, yeah, probably. It's not probably going to be popular or even usable, but it's going to be something. So, website and assembler. So we're probably going to start with the basic HTTP server. So the HTTP server is going to be the part of that framework, but yeah, HTTP server is actually a part of many web frameworks, and you usually put your application behind some more or less usable web server like in Nginx or Apache. So it's going to be the case for us as well. So how I see that, I see the library that you use, and then you compile an executable, and that executable is actually standalone web application. You start it and it opens, like listens to the port, and you can open in the browser, and if you want to deploy it, you put it behind some web server like Nginx or Apache or something like that. So this is how I see it. And this is actually interesting, like people don't really understand, but HTTP protocol is the simplest thing ever. It's going to be at least a proof of concept. Yeah, that's right. HTTP protocol is so simple, you can implement it even in assembler. So basically what you have to do is just an open TCP port and listen and just send some data back from to the client. That's pretty much it. I think, I don't know yet. We just need to start with something simple. I don't want to go into equal and stuff like that. Maybe we will. So, and as we said, so it's very simple, and you can even implement a basic HTTP server probably in Bash. So let me just demonstrate you. So we need to create a HTML page. Let's actually start with a simple HTML page. Head, and we need a title, I guess. So what's going to be the title? It's going to be hello world, and the body is going to consist of several headers, just to see that, just to demonstrate that it's actually how to say that, it's actually an HTML, h2 and full bar. So if we open that HTML page in the browser, so yeah, it's straight up HTML. What you can do though, you can convert it, I think you can convert it to HTTP message. God damn it, what did I... HTTP message. Maybe response. Let's go message. I don't exactly remember how it looks like. It's probably you have to specify the version of HTTP, right? HTTP messages. Just show me an example. So the response, and we have to answer with like 200 OK, and we have to provide the headers. So the header is going to be content type. So we have to provide at least two headers. It's the content type, even text HTML, and the content length. This one is really important because I just noticed that some browsers cannot finish loading content if you don't provide this header. So now we have to provide the actually length of the message. It consists of 183 characters. So let's just put that thing here. And we basically have an HTTP response. And from that, what we can do, we can cut that file and put it to netcut, which is going to listen to port, for example, 8080, right? So we have that going, and we open localhost 8080, and we see that file in the browser. So this is how you can implement an HTTP server like in the bash. So in the bash you can actually like do some logic like calculating the content legs and all of that and everything. So what I'm trying to convey you is that it's a really simple idea that you can even implement it in bash. And we have to do the same but in assembler. Maybe a little bit more complex, I don't know. I don't even know what I mean by that, a little bit more complex. A little bit more sophisticated, because assembler can do more than that. So yeah, we just need to open a TCP socket using the socket library of Linux and just send some data to it. But I really want to start with some proof of concept. I want to implement a reference application in C and just see that it works. And then based on that application, I'm going to write an assembly application. Are you running a local web server? No, I do not. That's exactly the point. So I have a file. I'm just demonstrating the concept of what I'm going to do. I didn't implement anything yet. I'm just like talking about the ideas that I'm going to use. I have a file that contains HTTP response, and I put that file through a netcat, through that command. And I just open that file in the browser. So I don't even need a web server. So basically we're going to implement our own web server. It's not really difficult. That's what I'm trying to say. So I want to implement a reference application first in C, just to just as a proof of concept that you can actually open a socket on Linux and send some data through it, and the browser can receive it and show it. And once we have that going, I will start implementing that in assembler, because I'm not really, how to say that, I'm not really comfortable with assembler yet. So that's why I want to implement some reference application first. I don't know if I'm going to program in assembler. Hello, Kriakos, welcome to the stream. And I'm going to program in assembler, and the title of the stream is web. I mean, if I'm going to program in C and the title of the stream is assembler, people are going to get mad at me. So I probably want to just put some kind of disclaimer, because it's not really great. Text. How to add text. This is how you add text. Reference app. Okay. Maybe not reference app, but rather proof of concept in C. Assembler will be later. Outline, drop shadow, and stuff like that. And I make it visible. So is it even readable? I hope it's readable. It's probably going to cover a lot of stuff. I don't know where to put it. Twitch alerts here. Yeah. So okay. I hope this sign is noticeable, because I am trying to avoid any misunderstanding. Okay. So we have some HTML page. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to keep it as an HTML page. Let me create a file static, and I'm going to put that here. And let's create a file ref. Thanks for following, John D. Resta. Yeah, welcome to the stream. So I'm going to say that's a proof of concept in C. That's what it's going to be. Maybe I'm going to rename it proof of concept. And we're going to open a main C file. So I think it actually makes sense to Oh, I don't even have anything yet. I was hoping... In the beginning there was darkness, it's just my Git. It's really strange, like, I want to create a branch, but looks like I cannot. Yeah, okay. Thanks for following, Hayukaya. Welcome to the stream. Just please notice that right now I'm programming in C, so it's not assembler yet. I'm just want to implement the proof of concept first, and like then move on to assembler, because I'm not really like comfortable with assembler yet. That's why I implementing all of that. So ready, set, go. And let's just push that. This is interesting. So it asks for username. Wait a second. This is really strange. So I remember that I cloned HTTPS. God damn it. So that was weird. Yeah, I cloned HTTPS, but when you... Thanks for following R3 as on. I hope I pronounced him correctly. I'm not going to compile it and disassemble it. Actually, you... okay, if you want to know, you don't even have to disassemble it. Like, let me show you. Printf. Hello world. What you can do is just DCC, provide capital S flag, and compile it. And what it produces that. I'm not gonna do that, so I'm not gonna cheat like that. I just wanna implement the reference app, and then I'm gonna slowly like move into assembly. I'm not gonna use what's it's generated. It's actually pretty tempting, isn't it? So, and furthermore, it's AT&T flavor of assembler, and I don't really like it. I'm more of a like Intel assembler guy, so yeah. Like, who uses AT&T? Like, apart from AT&T, obviously. Like, it's so weird. It doesn't even make any sense. And especially those things like offsets, like in Intel, at least in NetWide assembler, you can straight up use arithmetic operations for shifts and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, I don't really like it. And I'm pretty sure that nowadays in GCC you can at least specify what flavor of assembly you want to use. But I don't know. Some time ago it was impossible. They always use AT&T. Okay, so what's so origin? I don't remember how to work with origin. Remote. Set URL origin, and I just set that thing instead of that, and I just push that. Here we go. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And I completely understand if I just will compile like assembler from C, I'm not gonna learn anything. My goal is not to just get something working done, but actually learn assembler. And yeah. So if I'm going to like look at assembler generated by GCC only in educational purposes, to just look something up, but I will try to produce my own code. So I just realized it's so difficult to not cheat during that project. It's just it's like everything like for you. You can just generate this shit. Anyway. Hello, Joseph. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. A new project, indeed. It's a website in assembler. I don't know why. No, I mean, I know why, but it's gonna be difficult. I just want to learn assembler. Yes. Okay. So let's actually commit that. Hello world. I'm gonna push that. Oh, it's really interesting. The command to push to the HTTPS is still working. It's really strange. So I probably want to restart my Emacs. Okay. Website in December, proof of concept, main C. Okay, so we're pretty sure. Let's create a separate branch. Let's call it proof of concept. Proof of concept. The first thing that we need to do, we need to open a socket. So let me just see. Linux socket. I want to use some online manuals. Yeah, this one. I want to use this one. So the socket. Yeah, okay. This is the first thing we need to do. Include sys types h and sys socket h. So I don't know, maybe it's better to put that thing here. Isn't it gonna cover some of the code? I'm not sure, but I just want this sign to be visible. If it's gonna if it's gonna be really inconvenient to see what I'm typing, so tell me, I'm gonna move it somewhere. Yeah, okay. So let's create a socket. I don't even know how to call that, but maybe we'll just call it server socket. Socket. You have to provide domain. Domain argument specifies a communication domain. Hello, Crossbow. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Domain specific communication domain. This selects the protocol family which will be used for communication. These families are defined in syssocket. They're currently understood. I believe we need this one because it's IP version 4. Yeah. IP version 4. As fuck, inet. Inet as fuck. The second one is type. Type. The second has indicated. God damn it! I forgot how to read. The socket has the indicated type, which specifies the communication semantic. Currently defined types are sock stream, provides sequence or reliable two-way connection-based types. I remember that we have to use this one, so I'm going to use that one. Just copy paste it here. And protocol. What is the protocol? Nobody remembers. Protocol specifies a particular protocol to be used with the socket. Normally, only a single protocol exists to support a particular socket type with a given protocol family, in which case protocol can be specified as 0. I remember, yeah, normally, like for TCP, you can provide 0 because this combination of family and type is just a straight up TCP, and there's no like this ambiguity here, so we can do that. So once we create it, I believe it should return something in case of an error. On success, a file descriptor for the new socket is returned, or error is returned, and error no is. Okay, damn it, I didn't want to click on that. Okay, so what we can do, we can just check the server socket is less than 0. And just say that something bad happened. Printf couldn't create a socket or something. For some reason, I want to print the socket descriptor. I don't know why. I just want to take a look at it. How does it look like? So I need to build that. I think I'm going to go with plain makefiles. So I have to provide the final target. I'm going to call the executable just web app because it's really convenient. So I'm not going to I don't really want to have like a sort of intermediate object files. I think I'm gonna compile the C file directly to web app. I want to provide some flags. I want to turn on all of the warnings or on all of the errors, because yeah, I like when compiler catches all of my mistakes. It's probably not going to be the case for the assembler. I understand that it's going to be difficult, but still, I'm programming in C yet, so I might as well enable all of the useful things. Then we can compile, and yeah, it compiles that, and this is the web app that we can execute, and socket descriptor is 4. I wonder why. Why is it 4? It's like maybe the descriptor 1 is standard input, 2 is standard output, 3 is standard error, and this is sort of a next one. It's really interesting. So I'm not really a system developer, but do the file descriptors are the file descriptors process local? So I mean, okay, whatever. This actually makes sense. Logging out to the right place instead of just standard output. Yeah, I know, right? Because this is so fucking annoying. When you redirect your application, right, you want to redirect your standard output, and if it fails, it also goes to the standard output, and you cannot see anything. And yeah, this is a completely different things, and yeah, they have to be logged properly. I don't think pedantic. Yeah, sure. Probably. Let me actually edit, because pedantic, if I remember correctly, it's so it complies with the standard, if I'm not mistaken. And it's already up to date. God damn it. So probably have to add this here as well. I think you don't have to put W before pedantic. Maybe I pinned. Sorry. Okay. So what I want to say, because I work with Linux every day, right? And the command line and stuff, and I know when the application just, I know how annoying it is when application don't put errors instead std error. So fucking annoying. Okay. What's next? I think I have to start like keep track of my nodes, because I already can feel like I'm getting off track. So we're doing proof of concept. Proof of concept. And first we need to create a socket. Create a socket. This is the manual that I'm looking at. Right. Man 7. I really like online manuals, because you don't have to install them locally, and they're kind of complete, because sometimes you don't have everything on your local system. But I think Man 7 is not exactly the thing I want. I remember another one, it was like Die or whatever. Such a beautiful face. Okay. Linux Man. It was Die, I guess. Yeah, Linux Die Man. I want to use this one. It's just, it has a search at least. I don't remember what goes next. So we created a socket. I think we have to bind it to some specific address. I'm pretty sure we have to bind it to some specific address. When a socket is created with socket, it exists in a namespace, address family, but has no address assigned to it. Bind assigns the address specified by address to the socket referred by the file descriptor. Array specify the size and bytes of the address structure, pointed to nobody fucking cares. Let's just start implementing that. You're now seriously. God damn it. I mean, I'm in Russia, FBI. What can FBI do to me? Mother Russia will protect me. Probably. I hope so. Probably not. They don't really care. Russian government doesn't care about Russian citizens. So we need to bind that shit. we provide the socket and sock um, other structure and the length of that structure as well. Don't really know why, but yeah. Anyway, the real question. Oh, we have a complete example here. Great, fucking great. My address and peer address. Oh, this is sort of an incoming address. Okay. So we're probably okay. Struct sock address on. What the fuck on? What is on? Why is it on? Because you're saying, yeah, it's so fucking true. Like, it's so useful. Like, you just blame Russia. It's all Russians. You have a shitty president. It's all Russia. Okay. Sock editor. It's very actually interesting because in bind is if I remember correctly, in bind they use some kind of a polymorphism. Which Italian do I'm using i3wm. Let's call it i3wm. Do you like it? Do you want to use it? So yeah. Here we go. Because sock adder is not, it's sort of abstract type, but you have to use a specific structure. You see, here they use sock adder whatever that means, or on, and then they cast it back to sock adder. I testing i3 gaps. What do you mean by that? What gaps? Anyway, and this is actually, yeah, this is why you have to provide the size. You have to. This is why you have to provide the size of the like structure, because it's not known when you pass it. But what do we have to put here in our case? I don't remember. So sock adder, if you want, so we have to provide the family, and if I remember correctly, this is the family, and depending on the family, we can have a different sort of address, right? Get adder info. I just want to read about different structures, to be honest. So let me just see. Where is my Zoom? i3 gap. Oh, you mean it's an application, i3 gaps? I've never heard of it, even though I use i3, but I never heard of it. Let me take a look. i3 gaps with, what is that? Unofficial fork. This is already interesting. Let me just take a look at that. Eventually it includes a few additional features which can read up. Why did they fork that? I mean, you could have just easily contributed that. A modded version of i3. Okay. I mean, why do you need to fork that unless it's sort of a, I don't know, gaps between tiles? Oh. Okay. But why do you need gaps between tiles? I mean, I don't need them. Let me just take a look at the screenshot. I mean, you just wasting useful space. Why do you need gaps? I mean, it's just a matter of taste. I understand that, but still, I think the same guy who developed i3 forked that. Oh, probably he couldn't convey the rest of the developers to include that feature somewhere because it looks beautiful. Okay. All right. This is just great. This is because it looks beautiful. I mean, okay, I support that. I mean, if you want to have that, I'm okay with that. i3. I mean, people don't fork open source projects just for nothing. It might be like a, how to say that? You need a serious reason for that. Like, for example, NeoVim. There's no point of forking Vim unless you can convey the main maintainer of that project to implement something and he or she doesn't want to implement that. So yeah, it looks like there's some serious fight between the developers and stuff like that. People don't fork projects just for nothing. There's just always reason. Whip out the NASM. Okay. I just need to know what kind of structure I have to use here. So right now, by the way, I'm implementing the proof of concept on C. I'm not implementing in assembler yet. It's gonna be later. What kind of structure? The structure I need to use, because I don't really understand, because there's several of them. God damn it. I think you used to XFC before. Yeah, I did. And I used XFC before because I couldn't get i3WM running on my system, and now it's somehow fixed. So yeah, I'm using i3WM now. Okay, so what I need to do... I'm going to... I really like struct, sock, other, and pals, because this is exactly what it is. They're like a family of structures. Oh my gosh, this is such a... I don't like that. So this is what I was talking about. We probably need this one for this family, because we use that specific family. In the example here, they use some un, and I don't know what it is. It feels like a typo. It straight up feels like a typo because there is no such thing. There's a sock editor in 6 for IP version 6, but there is no what they have here. So it's clearly a typo. Let me even just Google that. No, it may be not a typo. This is interesting. Oh, it comes back to, and U is the next to the queer T. Yeah, it's also true. A Unix. Oh, okay, but a Unisocket. So we don't have that here. Where is it defined though? So it's defined in net in. Sys on. This is so interesting. Yeah. Okay, so they provide you abstract data, right? You have to provide the family, and this is sort of abstract chunk of memory. You can put anything here, and you can own sort of define your custom structures that fill that specific chunk of memory. So, and those like socket addresses structures, they can be even defined in different headers. So interesting. So yeah, that's a prehistorical polymorphism for you. This is how our like ancestors did all of that before, and this was painful. This was straight up painful because they had to dispatch all of that manually. But nowadays you have like object-oriented stuff, and this is just all right. And they also okay, this is great. I guess we need sock editor in. Sock editor in. I even wonder, can we find any documentation about sock editor in? Why do you suggest to go there then? Okay, whatever. Okay. Sock editor in. In. So it's going to be address, maybe server address. And let me just quickly try to compile that. Because it's not going to compile because it does not exist. The storage size is not known. Oh, it doesn't say that the structure doesn't exist. It just says it's not known. Storage size of server other is not known. This is so weird. It doesn't say that it doesn't exist. If I type something like that. This is so weird. Is that a C thing? Is that how C reacts to unknown structures? It just says like storage isn't known? Storage size isn't known? It's so weird. Like, why does C do that? Reference it. Okay, whatever. I mean, it's just strange. And we probably need to just copy paste that here. So you see, I'm like programming by copy pasting chunks of code. This is the best way of programming, as you can tell. This is the only way of programming. So warning being treated as errors, and this is the probably I have to remove the W error for now because it's not really convenient. Okay. It's weird. Like, structure doesn't exist, but instead of saying that structure doesn't exist, it says it doesn't know size of that. Like, if we compare that to, for example, C++, if I straight up make it C++, let me just see, because this is really interesting. I never like saw that before. Now let's try to. Yeah, C says that has incomplete type and blah 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 blah. But C, if we make it a C, it says, oh god damn it. Oh, that means I could have just changed the executable. Storage size is unknown. So the programming is 80% gluing to the process of pure programming. Why does the web app target depends on makefile? Because if I change something in the makefile, right, and try to recompile, it won't be recompiled. So that's why it depends on makefile as well. So basically, if I remove that, right, I compile it. Let's just make it compilable. Yeah. It's actually, it makes sense if you implementing your own makefile, if you actually directly modify a makefile and not generating it. If you're generating it, it doesn't actually make any sense, so the build system will do everything for you. But if you constantly change it, it just won't to recompile the entire project if you changed makefile. Yeah. Makefile. Where am I? What am I doing? I completely forgot what I was doing again. Sock, editor, and pulse. Yeah, we're probably... I was talking about differences between C, C++, that C is weird, but it's okay. It's a weird language. And we just need to specify stuff for sock headers in. We have to provide the family. Server editor, if I'm not mistaken. Man, I really want to go to that header and just look the source code, but I can't. I cannot, because this is a fucking Nixos. I don't know where it's located. Like in Nixos, everything is located in such different places. Like, how should I look it up? Like, I can just try to go to home, and I remember, yeah, there's Nix profile, and Nix profile is sort of your root, and you can go to include and net, and there is no net thingy there, right? So it's somewhere in a different place, and you just have to deal with it. It's so annoying. You see, everything is sort of composed from symlinks. Open it up from my machine. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know where it is. Where the fuck it is? It's Nick Sauce. This is the like people think like Nick Sauce is just another distribution of Linux. No, it's a completely different like philosophy. You can. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, what I want to do, I'm just going to go to my upside down assembler thingy. How to open headers. Okay, C headers. Yeah. I was thinking about that as well, but this requires googling. C headers on Nixos. Okay. Let's find header files or something. I'm not sure. This is just a look for. Oh, print. What the fuck? Let's come and ask GCC which C++ processor it is using. On Linux system where okay, there's spend a little time this morning looking. Get a reliable answer for your specific setup. Likewise for C processor. Okay, so let's just take a look at that. This is basically, and this is such a weird command. So the sort of using output of this command as the command. Why? I want to take a look at that command first. Just see what it does. Okay, so it finds the actual executable, right? And this if this is an actual executable. Oh, hello, can't stop farting 99. Same. Welcome to the stream. So let's just open. Thanks God. Is it the thing? Net. Do you have sys? Cool project. Thank you. So we have sort of several of this. Oh, I can use find file at point. This is such a cool feature. I'm really sorry I forgot to start up the bot today. Actually, to be honest, I don't like the Urban Dictionary plugin because it's not really, how to say that, PG. So I'm probably going to disable it in the future because I mean it's fun, but it's kind of weird sometimes when you see like your entire screen filled with word anal and stuff. So I mean, it's pretty cool, but still weird. Okay, what's going on? You used the Vim? Yeah, I used the Vim today. God damn it, I cannot find it. Find file. This feature doesn't really work. It cannot really parse that. I didn't say with your with word anal. Okay. Shell output. And basically I have to look through all of this. Seriously? Sys limits. It's probably the last one though. So I'm just basically looking through everything. Yes, this is the thing. Net innet in.h. Okay, thank you. This is so great. This is great. And what I was looking for, I need to find my sock editor in. So we have scene port number, right? And this is so they sort of share the common things. It's quite cool. I'm pretty sure I can probably even use the silver searcher here just to find stuff. So cool. I want to see where it's defined. It's defined here, and subfamily prefix. God damn it, it's not ready. Oh yeah, so common is just as a prefix. Okay, great. This is great. It's crazy you have to put an array to pad till the end. Yeah, if you want to... Um, you're talking about like the implementation of a custom sort address command, right? Yeah, this is exactly because it's an abstract structure. And they sort of allocated you a specific amount of bytes. And if you don't use everything, you just have to pad it with something. It's really interesting. But the real question, what if you need more than that? If you need more than that, you probably have to allocate some more memory on the heap and just keep a pointer to that chunk of memory or something like that. So they could have actually just implement that throughout all the structures. So they could just say that here's the pointer, just put pointer there, and it's going to work. That assigns you to put a pointer inside the data. Yeah. Okay. I need a more quick way to actually find the place, the headers and stuff. Okay. So interesting. I really like to explore the source code and everything. Ether. What is Ether? Function for storing Ethernet addresses in ASCII and mapping to host names. So fucking interesting. When I look through such low... My Emacs just crashed. What the fuck? Did it really crash? Oh my god, it's really crashed. Because I know it crashed for sure that I set it... So I just actually configured everything. You cannot quit Emacs without confirmation. It always asks you, really want to exit Emacs? It always asks you that. And I did that because I started to accidentally quit Emacs. I know that there's like sort of jokes about Vim in Emacs that you don't know how to quit those editors, but I got to the point that I started to accidentally quit Emacs. And this started to get so annoying, so I just configured it. It always asks me, do you really want to exit it? Because I don't really want to usually exit it. And this is how I know for sure that it crashed. Okay, so and this is interesting. So it creates like sort of a temporary swap files like Vim does and everything. And it's really interesting. When you open such file, it suggests you to recover the file. So we can say recover this file. Recover out-of-state file. Yeah. Okay. This is the part that was recovered. Do you have any sessions flow in Emacs? I don't really understand what do you mean by that. What is a session flow? I'm sorry. Please elaborate on your question. Is that like a commonly known thing? So we also have to recover that one. Recover file. Yes, please. I'm usually use Vim control space session that say, oh, you mean, okay, so session persistence or something. Save session from time to time, it helps. I mean, open tabs, buffer, and stuff like that. No, I don't use anything like that, but I think it exists for Emacs session management. Like a point where, okay, yeah, I got it. There's something for session management, but I don't use anything. Maybe I should start to use it. So there's a thing called anal. Associate desktops with task and probably this one. It's not really popular, isn't it? If you don't have more, well, like 100 star, I'm not gonna even look at your project. I'm sorry, I'm not like that, but still. Emacs session when start Emacs packages story various variables. Yeah. So you see, you just need to take some time and learn all of that. I don't really want to. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to start the thing again and just save that path somewhere here so I can refer to it like in the future. How can I do that? I can actually create an URI rather than URL, and open it here, and it automatically opens here, which is great. So that means I can just close that case finally. We have to use sock editor, right? Net in h sock editor in, and we have to provide SF family. So let's finally do that. So we have to do this SF family. But I haven't seen my NeoVim crashed for a long time. Maybe this is because you never run it. Sorry. And we have to use scene editor. And what is editor? Structure editor. God damn it. Where can I just find struct? Oh, here it is. Fucking serious. Such a fucking matryoshka. God damn it. Okay, then you provide server editor, in editor, and s editor. And what is the internet address though? So it's just a number. Okay. I need to ask a question how to use in editor. So you see, I'm still learning stuff. Let me just see editor. Why is the internet? I guess this is the most usable program in my computer. Oh, okay. Oh, it's scene family though, but I called it for some reason SA family. Let's look it up in the headers. Scene family. This is so weird. Scene port. But it's in headers it looked differently. I feel like sock editor in. See? Oh, so here you provide the prefix with the common thing. Oh, this is interesting. So that's why it has to be scene family. Then it's scene editor. Scene port. Yeah, okay, so I also have to provide the scene port. And remember, you just cannot use the port. You have to convert it from a number somehow. Scene port. Yeah, you have to use some H2 tone S for some reason. I don't know why. This is so weird. Nothing actually makes sense. Like when you program in such a low level, nothing makes sense. The naming doesn't make any sense. The action doesn't make any sense. Like nothing. And surprisingly, it feels like an Erlang. Both of the, like these APIs, like Erlang standard library and C thingy, like that API, they all very old and they are similarly weird. They similarly don't make any sense. It feels like back then, like when we only started programming, we didn't really understand what we were doing. That's why the APIs don't look cohesive or something. Like we're just doing something, we don't understand what we're doing, we're just learning. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like you can feel that like people don't understand what they're doing, they just want to get something done. I don't know, maybe they understand. I don't know, it's just my thoughts. I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong. Yeah, Erlang in a nutshell. What is H-tones though? H-tones is like it's really interesting. H-tones. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just look up through the headers. H-tones. It's hard for me, basically. They put so many type defs. Yeah. So this is the function. And sometimes it's a define. Oh, it's very interesting. So sometimes it's a function, sometimes it's a define. But basically, host shared function to convert between host and network byte. Oh, this is interesting. Um, mhm. In memory, it's just just bytes. I don't care about so many names. Yeah. H2NS. Also, H2NS means host to network. Maybe net something. Oh, H host to network single. It's assigned. Or maybe unsigned because it's unsigned. Oh, short. Okay. Host to network short. Okay, that's what it means. God damn it. Okay. Because, yeah, the order of bytes is not really the same for networking rather than... Okay. I'm gonna do it like that. Main H-tones, H2NS, and we're gonna use port. We can actually provide the port from the command line. How about that? So let's just provide the port from command line. If argc less than 2, then we just basically print the usage. std usage web app port. That's right. And then we return with exit failure. Someone's trying to call me for some reason. Here it's going to be exit success. Exit failure, exit success. What's next? And next we have to actually, create a port. So port is going to be in the first argument here. We want to convert it A to E. V1, something like that. Yeah, try to compile that. Apparently there's man pages H-ton convert values between host and network. Why do we need like a man pages if we have source code, right? Yeah. As I already say, the source code is the most reliable documentation because it's never outdated. And yeah, so many errors in compile. Okay, great. So now we managed to do that. Let's go back to in H header. Extract sock header in. And we do what? Scene editor, and we have to provide S editor. Load with inet aton. It's really interesting. Website in assembler. So probably you have to use this function to basically convert a string of an address to a number. We can look it up. I think AG. This is the function. Convert internet host address from numbers and dots notation in CP into binary data and store the result in the structure. So why do you need man pages? You can just look at the code. How about that? It's very convenient in my opinion. So, and we go back here in net aton and we provide, I don't know, maybe have to provide the zeros. I'm sure. Oh, and also have to. Thanks for following shooting stars 1,400. I don't know why I talk like that. Oh, why does it take two things? So weird. Okay, so we provide sort of a... Does it have to look like that? I mean... Is that what they trying to tell me? It's really weird. Oh yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, I mean, sure. Um, does the code explain why you need to convert? No, not really. So yeah, you're probably right. Let's add the dir. Let's add the dir. Okay, it does compile. Implicit con. Oh, okay, you probably wouldn't have this function here. That means we have to also import it. ARPA, from ARPA. Oh my gosh. It's such an old code. It's back to when ARPA was this thing. Seriously. Oh my gosh. Init.h. From incompatible pointer type. Well, I was right. I was right that you have to do it like that. You have to do it like that. But again, but they say you have to do it like that. You have to go to S editor, but you actually don't have to do that. Typos everywhere. Mistakes everywhere. God damn it. On the I3, the host byte order is least significant. Yeah, whereas, yeah, I know that. I think that this code is based on BSD socket API. I'm not saying you're wrong, just that man pages have some uses too. Yeah, you're right. Most programming languages use it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. You're so smart, guys. You're so smart. I wish I was as smart as you. Okay, sounds great. Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. And it's probably works. Okay. Okay, we managed to convert that. Let's go back here. How to use editor. So we're trying to bind. We didn't bind yet, but we're kind of there. And let's actually try to do that. Where is the bind thingy? I probably already opened it somewhere. So we have to provide the socket itself, the address, and the length of the structure. Let's freaking do that. Let's flippin' do that. I'm sorry. Server, socket, and pointer to the structure. Server address, and the length of that structure. Size of server address. It's probably going to complain because the types are not compatible. I probably have to cast it. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about, because we have to cast it. Struct sock editor. Yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. But it's an upcast, right? Because it's sock address is more abstract than sock address in, so it's an upcast, so it's okay. We just bound that shit. What does it return? On success 0 is returned, on error -1, so we can check if we were able to, you know, bind that, right? If minus, so we have to say f printf. Yesterday error couldn't bind the socket. Okay. By the way, I've completely forgot that we probably have to exit here with the failure as well. So failure, and remove that. Return. And just imagine we will have to do all of that in assembly as well, eventually. Oh, it's gonna be so fucking fun. God damn it. I wonder if I have to close the socket afterwards. Probably have to. It's not very convenient. So let me go back to WebSocket in assembler. As one of the steps, we will have to close this socket. Close socket. It's not like a socket function, because there is sort of a general function for closing file descriptors, and we can use it for socket as well, because socket is a file descriptor. So this is the beauty of Unix in general, because everything is a file, even socket, especially socket. So we can just close it. So at the end, I just want to close that. Does it return any errors in case? Returns 0 on success. On error, the return doesn't. Like, I mean, at the end of the program, I don't really care if an error happened when I close the socket, so I don't even want to bother about closing it. So I'm gonna just close it like that. Yep. Maybe I want to print something here, just to indicate that it went well. Finished. Let's compile that. It doesn't know about close, which is strange. I mean, seriously. You probably have to. It's probably in UniSTD. Yeah, it's probably in UniSTD because it's sort of a Unix thingy. All of the Unix specific things are in UniSTD. Let me actually see. Do we have UniSTD here? UniSTD. So the free software is part of the POSIX standard, and it's closed. Yeah, int. Yeah, I just saw that. Just here it is. The function is the cancellation point, and therefore not marked with throw. It's really interesting. What is a throw though? I don't really care. I'm getting off track again. So it's UniSTD, and we compile that, and let's try to run it. Web app. It complains because we didn't provide the port, and it's finished. Okay, so it went successfully. I'm really glad that it went successfully. Now, once we bound. We bound the socket. We have to listen to the socket, I guess. I'm not really sure. So let me just go through the tabs and close the ones that I don't really care about anymore. Can you try strace web? Oh, it's actually a pretty good idea. So thank you. So you think maybe compiler optimized? Yeah, it's actually a pretty good idea, so it's a valid point. Web app, can I do that? GCC dump? What the fuck is that? Oh, it's probably back from that. Okay. Let's trace. I have to do it like that. Okay. Bind. Close. Yeah, it actually performs all of that. Thank you. It really helped me. Thank you. Yeah, it's actually quite surprising that it does so many things. I wonder if it exposes any sensitive information. Anyway, probably not. Okay. Where's my team? We can probably even debug it. GDB. If we compile it statically, it won't do many of those things, I think. Probably. Oh, because shell. Oh, what is async shell? Whatever. So we can try to debug it. GDB, and you know, Emacs has integration with JDB, which is fucking great. Oh, I didn't have to provide it like that. Which means I can go to main C. If I'm not mistaken, I can do things like that. Nope. Break. Yes, you see, I can put a breakpoint. It's Emacs. It's Emacs. Then I go to GDB, run it, and here you go. What I can do. So I think I can do stuff like speed bar. And in speed bar, I'm not sure if I can show stuff. I remember that you can just show like additional information of the debugger. And next. And you can basically debug it. But I don't know, there should be like some bindings to quickly do all of that. And you can find God next. Oh my gosh, this is the shortcut for next for the next step in debugger. Seriously, Control X A N. Yeah. Yeah, shortcut, a long cut. But now, like, I mean, I already explained that in my. You explain that. Oh, god damn it! Like, you know, in my Emacs video, I actually on the stream I explained the shortcuts, and I said that they only look scary. They actually not that scary, but I cut it out. I cut out this part. I should have actually put it in the video. So basically, they just look scary, but in fact, to type something like that, you just have to hold Control and type XAN. That's it. God damn it, what have I done? And it's not that actually difficult. You don't have to like unpress Control. You can just hold it all the time. Okay, then I can just quit. And yeah. Yeah, exactly. This would be better. Yeah. They just choose the really unfortunate annotation. Annotation? Convention. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Chip Zero. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? So we're, as you can see, we are programming in assembler. Yeah. At least we're trying to. They told me it's assembler, so I'm gonna assume it's assembler. Website and assembler. So right now we're implementing sort of a proof of concept, like before we move into assembler. Because I don't want to stuck in the assembler part. I just want to see that it actually works and everything. Now I understand. It's I'll still use Vim, but this is my first time seeing Emacs. Now I understand this control jocks. Yeah. So what we have to do next? I think once we bound the thing, we have to listen to it. So let's just actually do listen. Listen. Blink, blink, listen. Why do I keep typing least? I need to calm down. Everything is okay. Listen for connection on sockets. Yeah. Backlog. What the fuck is that? Okay. So let's read. Doesn't it have man integration? I think it does. But I'm not sure if I have all of the man pages. That's the problem. That's why I use online, because I'm pretty sure die.net has all of the pages. So we can actually take a look. Listen. And you see, I don't have a man page for listen, but I have it online. That's why I use it. So listen is just sock fd. It's going to imprint in your muscle memory, and the it will be like chipadam on the people's we're looking. Oh, you're talking about me typing list instead of listen. Okay. Man to listen. Oh, you think? Okay. To listen. Does it support that? Anyway, so it's better to type it here. Yeah, I don't have anything like that. So I have to install it, but Nixos, you know. I don't want to fuck with Nixos. So if the backlog argument defines the maximal length to which the queue of pending connection for a sock of D may grow, if a connection request arises when the queue is full, the client may receive an error with an indication of, okay, my watch records, okay. Listen. Listen, server socket. And how many connections do we want to have in the queue? What is it like a common number of connections though? So it should be in the bind. Example that should be in the bind. At least they say so. So listen backlog. What? 50. Okay. Well, let's just go with 50. I don't care. What's the return type? Return value. On success 0 is return an error. And okay, so let's just check on that and report an error to the user, you know. So install it then. My end page is the wide is hurting my retinas. Are you happy now? So on my Linux I have to type man to listen to see the listen function. Yeah, that's probably how to do if you have the man pages, but I don't have them. Couldn't listen to the socket. Couldn't listen. It's so stupid. Failure. Oh. Let's try to compile this shit. And web app. Let's actually use strace. It's a pretty good idea. Exited. Did it print finished? I didn't see if it print finished, but at least it exits with. Yeah, here's the right finish. Then and then listen. Okay. So we're gonna integrate strace to our workflow. So actually, thank you for the idea. It's actually a very great idea. So the next step is accept. You know, the phrase like angry, acceptance, and anyway, I think I screwed out this joke. We are moving to this phase of acceptance. We can even see this is called return value there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like that. Yeah, this is the 0 and stuff like that. Accept, the phase of acceptance. That's right. So many stuff. I cannot read that. Where? Oh my gosh. You fucking serious? It starts here. Okay, you have to provide the socket address and the length. And some flags. We're probably gonna go with the accept. Yeah, it's a return value. Cool. When you'll get to assembler, stress will be pretty. It's actually true, but in assembler I can also debug assembler with GDB. Yeah. Because and NASM can generate. I think it can generate dwarf debug information, and GDB supports dwarf debug information. You see, I prepared a little bit for the streams. I know some basics. So at least I learned basic instruments that I will need to program in assembler. So I'm okay with that. Ltrace. Ltrace is it traces the calls to the dynamic libraries, right? I don't really remember what ltrace does. I'm so prepared. Oh my gosh. Ltrace. I said ltrace and you show me strace. God damn it. Maybe they're sort of in the same family. Ltrace. Oh, I was wrong. Maybe I just accidentally typed strace instead of ltrace. I'm really sorry. I apologize for that. I'm so stupid. More simply specified command. It's what? Yeah, dynamic libraries. So I guess that's right. There's also mtrace. Malloc tracing. Well, this is really interesting. Function. Oh, it's a function. It's not a. Probably there should be like a version of. Okay, whatever. So I have to implement accepts. Ads are in Russian. Ads are in Russian. What? What? Where are the ads? Where do you see Russians? I don't. There's no Russians here. Okay, accept. The phase of acceptance. The phase of acceptance. Subtraction in Chinese. Yes. I mean, I understand that Cyrillic looks like a Chinese symbols to many people, but come on, it's not that cryptic. Russian hacker exposed. God damn it. Oh, in search result, you mean? Ah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oof, oof, oof. I don't see stuff in search result anymore. Like I saw that for a really brief moment. Don't see it anymore. God damn it. Whatever. Also, let me just continue programming. Let me continue hacking. Because I'm a Russian hacker. Accept. We need to just accept that. But we also have to provide the socket address. So let's just go through the arguments, right? Where's the arguments? I don't see the arguments. Accept systems call creates a new connected socket and returns a new file descriptor referring to that socket. So basically, it returns the socket of the connection. Main. So what do we do? Server socket, and we're going to create so-called client socket, right? I'm going to accept server socket, and I'm pretty sure we have to provide sock address, and sock address is the address of the client, if I'm not mistaken, but I can be mistaken. Is the pointer to sock address structure. The structure is filled in with the address of the peer socket, so it's called peer, okay, as known to the communication layer. I'm not sure if it has to be sock adder in. Maybe it has to. Oh, it has to be sock adder in. Okay, so that means I can simply create it somewhere here. So you see, I like to create variables only when they need. I don't like to keep them in the beginning of the function. It's sort of looks like a Pascal or whatever. You know, have you ever programmed in Pascal? You have to declare all of your variables at the beginning of the body of the function. So fucking annoying. But some people like it. Some people think that it's actually a great way to declare your variables. Something. I don't really like this. I have found memories of basic in Pascal. Which part will be written in assembler? The while part. Right now I'm implementing the proof of concept in C. So as you can see, I also put a disclaimer here. I'm not sure if it's visible, but I just want to implement some proof of concept that then will be later implemented in assembler. And no, I'm not going to just generate assembler from the C code. I'm actually trying to learn something. Okay. I'm running out of breath for some reason. This is maybe because I talk too much. Maybe I have to fucking shut up. Maybe I have to. Yeah. Cool. Line socket address. So I have to provide the pointer to the address that will be filled in with stuff. And for some reason, sock length, like the length of the socket, but it's pointer, so it also has to be like filled in or whatever. So let me just find this argument. The argument is the value result argument. The caller must initialize it to contain the size of the structure pointer by address, and return it will contain the actual size of the peer address. I mean, okay. Yes, it is visible. What? What? What is visible? What have you seen? You ask if the disclaimer was visible. Oh, okay. I completely forgot about that. I'm sorry. The delay ruins everything as usual. So, by the way, this is why if you like want to say me something, please provide a little bit of context. If you said like the disclaimer is visible instead of it is visible, I would understand it. But because of the delay, I don't remember what do you refer to with it. So yeah. So I just don't understand why. Okay, I mean, okay, whatever. I can just create sock len t, sock len t, sock len t, sock len t, len, maybe client len, and just put it here. I just don't care. I can do that if you want. But I'm pretty sure this call will completely block everything. So okay, so let's just compile that, and it's blocked. But we can unblock it actually. We can go telnet localhost, and this is how we unblock it because we just created like an incoming TCP connection, and it works. It actually works pretty great. We probably also want to check. It should return a negative code. Was last argument incorrect? I don't know. Probably not. What does it return? Return value. On success, this system call return a non-negative integer. On error, negative. Okay, so we can just check if client socket is negative. We just say that fuck you. Couldn't accept the incoming connection. To tell the kernel, it needs to be size of second parameter. To tell the kernel what memory it can be written. I don't think you have to initialize it. It feels like let's read the documentation about address length again. Nothing is filled in this case. Address is not used and should be also null. Oh, I can just. They are optional. Address length is value result argument. The caller must initialize it to contain the Okay, probably it's incorrect. So caller should initialize it with the size of the structure. Okay. Well, I mean, I can do that if you want. So it should be like that. Should the client socket? Oh, I see. Sorry. Socket. Wait a second. I mean... Okay, I see. Thank you. But in fact, we can just fucking remove all of that. It's only needed if you want to know information about the incoming connection. So according to the documentation, I just can do that and don't care about anything else. Apparently, we can even double check that. Okay. Yeah, I can just do that. Close by origin. Great. So we can accept, and I think we can even write something to that socket. That's the client socket. What can we write there? I don't remember the documentation of write. Accept and trace site. Write. Oh, here's the Russian text. I'm really sorry. I mean, I'm just sitting behind a Russian VPN, so that's why it looks like Russian. I'm not Russian. No, I'm not Russian. I'm not Russian. I'm not Russian at all. So you have to provide the file descriptor, then the buffer, and the size of the buffer. Okay. Yeah, so let's create the buffer. Some message. So let's create some message. Hello. the message and the size of it. Size of the message. I'm so stupid. Already sorry. You have to actually use something like strlen. The buffer. That's right. Yay! Hello world. There we go. If you're not rushing yet, you should. Life is short, you know. If I'm gonna rush, I'm gonna fucking rush B. So that was terrible. Okay. I guess that's pretty much it. So what is interesting is that I think we can open a file with like the basic web server is actually done. Let me think. Russian, did you get it? You're so funny. You're Russian too, by the way. I guess. I'm not really sure. I think you're Russian. Why only saw one request and die though? Surf or die. We only just started, I mean. Okay, so what I want to serve, actually, I want to serve HTML instead. How are we going to do that? Russian. I know that in GCC library, it's not standard function, but in GNU extensions, we have a function dprintf. What is the difference between fprintf and dprintf? It doesn't deprint the message, it's just called dprintf. And it's called dprintf because it takes a file descriptor instead of file structure. So in standard C, those functions, they take, file star, but this one takes a file descriptor, Unix file descriptor, and it acts exactly like a printf. And we can use it. And why do I want to use it? Because it allows me to concatenate strings in C without actually messing with allocating and deallocated memory, which is fucking cool. Do we need to parse HTTP and such? This is actually the best part. For our case, we can just hard code the response. Also the sois, what? I don't get it, I'm sorry. I'm stupid. So what we can do, we can take HTML. What is a file descriptor exactly? It's the number of, it's just a number that is associated with an opened file in the process. Yeah. Which represents a file. So yeah, if you have a file descriptor, it's an opened file, and you can do file operations on that descriptor. You can read from that file descriptor, you can write there, you can try to close it and stuff like that. FD open, yeah, probably. Okay, damn it, I'm sorry, I just clicked accidentally. I like dprintf. I just like it. I mean, FD open is also not a part of the standard, so if we are using non-standard functions, why not use the most convenient one? Okay, so what I want to create HTML, right? And we already have an HTML file in static folder. So here it is, the simple HTML. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy it to temporary file. God damn it, I didn't copy it to temporary file. And I'm gonna use the multiple cursors magic. Is fprint a macro? Does assembler have those? fprintf is not a macro. You can call fprintf from assembler, actually. I can even prove that to you. So let me just see. God damn it, I'm gonna forget what I was about to do. So we already accepted. Um, is printf a macro? Okay, what else do we need to do for the proof of concept? Accept surf HTML. So just don't forget what I was about to say. The kernel does... Okay, so printf is a macro. So let's just try to answer that question because it's a really interesting question. Printf macro. Assembler. So, section... I guess it's a text, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna use the main because we're gonna use GCC for linking. RBP and then pop RBP. We're preparing the stack thing, and I guess you also have to do some shit like that. I don't remember. So if we want to use the external let me just read this. Sorry, just you. The kernel does say, oh, you're explaining the concept of files and file descriptors and stuff like that. So we want to use the external functions from assembler. We have to declare them, extern printf, and we have to, like in Linux, in 64 Linux, the arguments are passed through the registers, if I'm not mistaken. Interfacing C programs. Interfacing C programs. So 64, we need 64. Is that the right one? Right, in 32 bits. 64. God damn it. Manual. Sure. Writing. Yeah, this one. Yes, we need this one. So, the first 6 integer arguments are passed in RDI, RCI, RDX, and so on. So, if we want to pass, for example, a string, right? Section data. So, we want to create a hello string, which is simply db hello world, right? And the end of the line and the 0 null determinator. What we have to do, we have to move that thing to RDI, and then we have to call to printf. If the printf was a macro, we probably wouldn't be able to do all of that. So let's just try to compile NASM F64 main assembler. Oh, I don't even have NASM, which is great. Could you please remove title text from top of your screen? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. So, yeah. We need to install... I said that I'm prepared. I'm actually not. Okay. What are you guys talking about? I just need... I don't even have a NIC assembler in my system. So, what are you talking about? I'm so prepared. So fucking prepared. How are you guys doing today? Please tell me. I'm very curious. DB database. This exactly. So you can declare your own databases inside of the assembler. This is actually the killer feature of assembler. You must have as or something. I want to use NASM, honestly. SDD2. There's like many things. If you have GCC, and as it's just, it uses AT&T syntax. I will have to Google how to switch it to the Intel syntax. I don't really want to do that. I don't really care. Okay, so we have main. Yes. This is the best part of of Nixos. It just prints these things to you. Can you make a MongoDB instance in assembly? Probably. Upside down assembler. Oh boy, I'm going to grab my popcorn. I didn't start programming in assembler yet. I'm just prototyping in C first. Just read the description below, please, please, please. It's not assembler yet. Which library use BSD circuits? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So we created O file, O thingy. Let's just try to link it. Printf main O. I think you also have to do something like global main. FL64 64. Yay! The place is a character things that sound strange. Okay. Let's try to hello world. So as you can see, I managed to execute printf from the assembler. So it's not a macro, it's an actual function. So I think I'm pretty sure I can just do different stuff, like I can format things. And formatting arguments are going to go to the second argument, I think. It's RCI. And for RCI, like 42 something. And yeah, printf. And it works, so formatting also works. You're making Laravel in assembler. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm doing. We already have a DB. I wonder if I can just MongoDB, if it's gonna compile or not. Oh, they don't have MongoDB, like, they don't support MongoDB yet, but I hope they're gonna do in the next release. But until then, we have to use just a regular database. I'm really sorry. So what do we do in website and assembler? So we already confirmed that sprintf a macro. No, it's not a macro. On the video about Emacs, it seems I made a good switch from. Okay, good luck with Emacs. I mean, yeah, no assembly language can support diff. No. Yes, unfortunately, it cannot. So we need to serve HTML main C. How are we going to do that? I already said I want to use the magic of multiple cursors, but first I want to replace double quotes with single quotes. Then I'm going to do the following thing. Hop, hop. There we go. Then I'm going to copy paste that and just straight up put it here. How about that? Let's reformat it. Well, doesn't seem to have so far. Haskell mod and Rust mod works so much better than plugin of Wimbot. Why are you using a? Are you crazy? I don't know. What the hell? What? Is it something bad or what? I don't understand. You're saying that like it's something bad. I don't think it's bad. Why? Why is it bad? Are you crazy or something? HTTP 1. I don't remember. Do we put? Probably. Whatever. The browser will eat anything, so don't even worry. I mean, browsers are just used to deal with all sorts of shit. They have so many hacks and workarounds to actually show it pretty, so don't even worry about it. I know it's a bad thing to say, but anyway. We're gonna fix it later. It's not the point right now. It's not the point. HTTP response. I don't remember. Do we put code before and or after the word? Host data. Just show me the fucking example. So it's version status code. Okay, so we put status code here and then the word. It's actually really interesting. Why do we even have to provide the reason phrase if we already have a status code? I mean, whatever. Is the project for fun? Of course. Everything I do on this channel is for fun. Seriously. So, okay. Now, we have to provide the headers. So it's going to be content type, it's text HTML. Then content length, which is, by the way, is going to be a formatting argument. And then, yeah, I always have a lot of fun. We put it here. So now, thanks to dprintf, I can do the following thing. strlen HTML and then HTML itself. And it's going to be sent to the client socket. So this is how we're going to do that. We'll gain some time. Yeah, that's true. So, and you see, I just concatenated the strings, but I don't have to deal with memory allocation and deallocation myself. Okay, so let's actually try to run it. God damn it. Now, so I'm gonna open it in the telnet first, and as you can see in telnet, we see the exact response, and it's not really great because I completely forgot. Yeah. About the new lines here, so I probably want to fix that. I'm gonna create a replace double quote with new line, and I'm gonna replace this like /n with new line. Hopefully this is how we are going to go. In scanf stops at the first whitespace, and it's the very first time I see it. I don't really understand. I don't follow conversation in the chat. I'm really sorry. Connection refused. It failed. I wonder why. Couldn't bind the socket. It didn't close it. What? It couldn't bind the socket. It. Oh my gosh. Why? Okay, now it's okay, and I really like how it calculates the content length. So, the moment of truth. Now we should be able to open it in the browser. So let me close it. Let me open it like that. Let me just orient it like that. Why doesn't it unbind it at some... I know why, because you also have to close the client socket as well. We completely forgot to boot that. To boot that. It's gonna be unbinded eventually, but let's just pick another socket. How you fucking go? How about that? XHTML. Why do you like? Why is XHTML bad? I don't really understand. Like, I'm not a web developer. I don't know much. How to get parsed and indent away in current browsers. Instead, most people using decide the suggestion. I'm gonna create a website in a second with Ruby and Rails. Okay. It's bad because it's XML. Do you really need to know more? I mean, XML is a pretty good format, no? I've seen a lot of spaghetti written with OOP, mostly in Java. Like, it just plain. Okay, I mean, what the fuck? How do you do plain? You do some doc type shit, right? Doc type HTML. Is that what you want? Yeah, right? Isn't it better? Okay. I'm gonna have a full page in half a second PHP 2. So, yes, this is exactly why I started this project, just to enjoy those commentaries. Yes, so let's actually go and commit all of that bullshit. So I probably want to remove the printf macro. I don't really need it. Yes. And another thing, proof of concept. I probably want to git ignore some of this stuff. Git ignore, for example, web app, because it's not really needed. Okay. So how many? So we still have like just 1 hour. Implement the proof of concept. Yes. Okay, let's just push that to the repo. For some reason, okay, so I do that in a separate branch. For some reason, I don't have any. Oh, somebody already started. Oh, it's Joseph. Thank you for the starts. It means so much for me. It's fucking love the description. Okay. The proof of concept. Okay. Fine. So let's actually review ourselves. Looks great. Okay. And a lot of unnecessary calls. Let's merge that. And delete the branch. Okay, so we implemented the proof of concept, which is great. So the concept works. Now we have to port that concept to assembler. Oh boy, it's gonna be painful. I can already feel it. So let's go to the WebAssembler. So we served HTML well. Proof of concept in assembler. This stuff isn't web scale. You need a framework and PHP 4 to make it web. Just a class that call another class and so on instead of merging. Okay. So many words. So just change line by line. It's actually really interesting. But I want to use NASM, honestly. I just want to enjoy NASM. I have a GCC dump in my agenda for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. Proof of concept. So let's actually create a folder. No, let's fetch the latest stuff first. We're fetching that. And merge the master. And remove that branch. So we have a little loop here indicating the pull request. Sure. Awesome proof of concept. So it's going to be the name of the branch. And let's create the folder src. Right, src. I don't really know. So I don't really know how to better organize the project layout yet. But anyway. Now you can remove the on-the-screen message. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for reminding me that the reference up. So we're actually starting the assembler. Okay. So what do we need? We need a section, data section, where we're going to keep all of our data. And text session, where we're going to keep all of our text. The global main. This is because we're going to use GCC. Um, so this is sort of like a basic main function. I probably want to section PHP. I'm not sure if it's going to even compile. So PHP, that's right. Make file. So how we can do that? Web app. What I'm thinking about actually. Yeah, we still need to separate all of that. Main O. So I have some scene. What is it like? Scene HL. What the fuck is that? What are you talking about? I don't know what it is. Google doesn't know it either. So syntax highlight. Like, believe it or not, Emacs supports assembly highlight like from out of the box. Okay. Anyway. Now, if we want to generate this one, we have to create this one. NASM format is ELF64, and we also want to generate the debug information with which kind of debug information? Remember that we have to use dwarf, yes, because this is the one that worked for me. And we provide the assembler. Now we link all of that with, yeah, we just link all of that. Nothing much to say. Web app. Should say it sh. It compiled. So you can have section PHP. Okay, great. LD, yes, I know that. But you're too late. I explained all of that at the beginning of the stream. I said that I'm going to start with just GCC because I'm going to use the standard C library. Like in the beginning of the stream, I said the beauty of this project is that I never actually clarified what writing a website in assembler means. It can mean anything. I can use the standard C library. There's no rules. I just said I'm going to implement the website in assembler. I didn't say that I'm not going to use GCC and the standard C library. I didn't say that. Okay. So what I really want to do, I want to pee. So let's make a little break. So yeah, have fun. Alright, I'm back. How everyone's doing? In Raw translated C to ASM is not that hard. Exactly. This is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream. I don't know why people thought it's some kind of super difficult challenge. It's actually pretty straightforward. So you just open a socket and send stuff there. And assembler is really similar to C in some way. And this is why people call C sort of a high-level assembler. But still, I think, like, for educational purposes, it's still interesting to do that. So that's why we're doing that. And I'm not really familiar with assembler that much, so it's going to be really educational for me as well. PHP is the new C. That's right. That is right, my comrades. That is completely right. So let's continue. Okay. So what we're doing here. While I was peeing, I was thinking about life in assembler, and I thought that we probably need to somehow get the command line arguments. I was thinking how to do that. No, this assembler didn't help me understand C. Okay. So this is interesting. We create a main entry point, and we do that because we link the entire application with GCC, because GCC expects a main function. So if we didn't use GCC, we probably created something like start instead, because as far as I know, GCC wraps the main function with starts and puts the arguments there and stuff like that. So if we want to get the command line arguments, they are probably passed by GCC as the first and the second argument. And as we know, um, excuse me, I'm so barfy today. Interfacing 64-bit C programs in Unix, the first and the second arguments are passed as these registers, RDI, RCI, RDX, and stuff like that, and so on. This is so fascinating. Like, when I found that page, like this section of the manual, it actually surprised me. Like, I'm not an assembler guy, I'm not a system programmer, but I always thought that all of the arguments are passed via the stack for some reason. And then, like, I thought that sometimes they are passed by the registers by the compiler when the compiler optimizes something, when it inlines something, stuff like that. I thought they used only like that in that case. But this is really interesting. So in 64-bit C programs in Unix, the arguments, the first 6 arguments are passed as the registers. It really surprised me. And another thing I know, like, I always thought it's a stack, and I know that different languages, different like native languages, pass arguments differently in different order. I remember like Pascal has a different order of arguments than C, and that's why you cannot link Pascal and C programs together because they pass arguments differently. Yeah. This is exactly calling conventions, stuff like that. So basically, while I was peeing, I came to the conclusion that I can access the command line arguments through these 2 registers. This is what I did when I was peeing. Okay, so let's just try to do that. I want to take a look at these registers actually. And you know, the best way to take a look at the register is to invoke a compiler. Let's try to do that. So, makefile. We already created the executable, right? So we want to try to see that executable under the debugger. We want to break main. Did it actually create the thingy? Yeah, it actually. So, thanks for following me while they're asleep. No, they didn't. They're not. They're still watching. So you see, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's like small red dot here. Does Pascal work differently even on the stack? Yes, it's different even on the stack as far as I know. Like I remember back then when I was programming in Delphi, when Delphi was still a thing and it's not dead technology as it is today. I remember I had problems with that. In Delphi, you had to, if you have interfacing functions, right, that supposed to be used by C, you have to mark them with some special keyword saying that they are going to be called by C, so please use different order of arguments or something like that. So that was interesting. Okay. What was in? So yeah, we need to start our shit flowing, run, and okay. What exactly are we programming right now? I don't know. I think I just decided to start with HTTP server and assembler, and once I have HTTP server and assembler, it will be more clear what kind of site I exactly want to implement. I'm actually going for just a generic web framework and assembler. If using PHP, many functions accept arguments in any order. I mean, it's an interpreted programming language. Whatever. Sorry. Okay, I remember. I actually prepared. I remember that you can look at the registers in GDB. How about that? Good unit. I don't remember. Okay, so we're already here. The page can be useful in the translates. Yeah, that's actually really interesting, but I'm not sure if I can like use some libraries there. It probably has a set of predefined libraries that I can use. And it's not like I'm gonna use something extraordinary here as well, but yeah, I could have actually got bolded. It's really interesting. Like, did you notice that got bold became sort of a verb as Google? So people started to say like, just Google it, and so I started to hear like, just got bolded to see what's there. I can remember time I read Evie article on PHP. Evie, you mean that blogger that obsessed with Pokemons? I think I heard about him. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to, okay. Remember, doesn't support PHP trash website. Registers. Okay, I don't remember how to do that. GDB show registers. Info registers, okay. Info registers. Okay, what I want to say, what's the first argument? I probably need to just garbage collect all of my tabs again, as usual. So I need that, I don't need that. I definitely don't need these man pages anymore. Man the pages. And what else do I need? So the first argument, RDI. So we have to see the amount of arguments, the command line arguments in RDI. And it's 1. Which may be coincidence. I need to double check that. Let me quit. And let's try to GDB that again. And I'm going to provide, for example, the number. And oh, it exited. God damn it. So let's just try to break main again and run it. Okay, it's breaking. Which is better, but I always forget the name. Or that other one. I remember that he has a website which is pretty easy to remember. You just type something like that. Yeah, that one. You're talking about this one. Probably this one, because he's very popular. So I heard about him. And he has a pretty good article, I should say. It's pretty interesting to read. Oh, you mean the GDB extension? Okay. So what I'm trying to do, I provided the arguments, right? Provided the arguments, and I just want to see info registers, okay. And RDI contains 2. Yeah, which is actually true. So the second argument has to be RSI, right? RSI, and it contains the pointer to the pointer, right? So what I really want to do, I want to print something from the command line argument. For example, the name of the program. The first argument is usually the name of the program, and we can try to print it. So for that, I need to printf, external printf. So that argument already uses null terminator, so I don't really have to worry about that. So what I basically can do, I just need to move RSI, I think, yeah, RSI to RDI, but I need to dereference it. And I'm pretty sure dereferencing is like that. And when you dereference something in assembler, you also have to provide the size of the operation. I'm not sure, so I might be wrong. So we're gonna, yeah, you don't have to provide anything. Okay, so let's just try to run it. And it didn't print anything because I didn't call the printf because I'm stupid. Need to make and also invoke WebAssembler. Yeah, it actually printed the name of the thing, which is great, isn't it? Or maybe, yeah, it's actually printed it. We can actually just do something like add our own side effect, like additionally to the name of the program, and this is going to be something like the name, program name. We have to provide s0, and the first argument is probably have to be so difficult. So, oh my gosh, this is where assembler kicks in. Now we have to, because RDI contains the number of arguments and we have to destroy it, but we don't really care about it right now, right? So we can easily destroy it. We have to put fmt here as the first argument, and as the second argument we oh my gosh, this is gonna be such a pain in the ass, because you have to keep the state of the registers in your head when you work with that. It's so painful. Now I should be able to print the name. Yeah, great. Yeah, the assembly is kicking in. This is exactly what I was talking about. So program name and this one. Okay. So, the condition. It's actually going to be useful for me, so thank you. I think I'm going to use it. SMP. Yeah, I think I remember something like that. But I'm not sure if we need to use so many jumps around, but anyway. Okay. So, I think I need to start, keeping track of my notes. Proof of concept in assembler. We need to first check command line arguments. This is what we have to do first. And it's going to be really painful. Maybe I'm going to keep like the C proof of the concept like nearby somewhere. So yeah, we just need to do the comparison of the RGC. Oh, how's it better do all of that? So just let me, I don't know. Pseudocode. But I remember that we had something like CMP. So let me just read about CMP. CMP compared to appearance in x64. I'm not sure if it's exactly CMP in 64 mod. That is not the point. That is not the purpose of the stream. The purpose is to learn something. If I'm going to do that, I'm not going to learn anything. What's the point? CMP. Okay. I cannot read that for some reason. Yeah, loops are fun to do, I can imagine. Can you just have a reference of all of the instructions? Instructions set reference. Just oh no, not the Intel documentation. This one, I'm not sure. I remember like looking at this one. Nixos? Really? Is that something special? I'm sorry. Okay, it's just Nixos. Two operands. Can I use a SMP? I think I can. I don't really have to care. Compare two numbers. Mhm. 64 mod cannot be encoded to access the following byte register. Yeah, it compares the first source operand with the second source operand and sets the status flag in the E flags register according to the result. The comparison is performed by subtracting the second argument from the first one and then setting the status flag in the same manner. Okay, so I can understand that. Basically what we want to do, forget that does one use point to the stack. The base pointer. I don't remember. I just saw that in some of the samples when I was preparing for the stream. I don't remember what it does. We can actually look it up. I forget what does one use to point to the stack. The base pointer. Oh, I misunderstood the question. I think the RBP is the one that I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking about. CISC, I'm sorry. To find the first parameter of the function. We already talked about that. You saw, I mean, pay attention. Like in Unix, the arguments are passed via fucking registers. We already discussed that. At least the first 6 of them are passed via the registers, but the rest of them are passed via the stack. I was having a snack. Okay, I mean, we don't need to care about the stack parameters until we have more than 6 of them. Pretty much. So what we need to do, I need to go like take RDI or something. I wonder if I can just store them. LVM costs. Okay, so let's actually implement one request at a time. The first request is to implement website in assembler. And okay. Run of registers. It's a really good question. I still have a RAM. I think I can store stuff in RAM. Oh, you mean what happens? How to pass more arguments if you ran out of registers? They say that additional integer arguments are passed on the stack. So I mean, you don't have to care about stack unless you have more than 6 arguments, and then, yeah, you have to use stack. But I mean, if you have a function with more than 6 arguments, you're probably doing something wrong. So yeah, I'm just saying. Unless you are R programmer. Have you seen the API of R language? R-lang. I don't know, like solve some equation. Solve a linear equation. Function. Just show the function, get them. It's actually pretty, not many of them, but usually the full list of like the functions in R, it has like usually 10 to 20 arguments in the function. And it's normal. It's normal in R. Yes. I mean, R was created not by programmers for not programmers. I guess it's just whatever. And I don't recall many arguments. He's actually doing it. Yes, I'm doing it. You thought I'm not gonna do it? Okay. So we need to see. Thanks for following, Gary Hick. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Thank you. We need to CMP that bitch, whatever that means. RDI. When you are okay. We need to compare to RDI to 2. Maybe it's a good idea to store all of that. How about that? FMT, right? And mm, not FMT, goddammit, error. Just see. I just want to store all of that, so I want to have like RGC and RGV and just have them there in case if I run out of registers. I'm not sure if it's a good idea. We'll find out, but still. What I'm thinking about is, so I need to come up with what instruction should I use? Like it's DB, not DB though, but I still can use DB, I think. But it's not going to be initialized. So like functions I would call them D star, are initialized. So I have to provide the sort of initial data for them. But there's also version of not initialized, so something like that. But I need to look it up. So do we have? And the interesting thing, they are pseudo instructions that they are not real instructions, and I'm not sure if I can find them here. So db, we can find them there. But what we can do is actually find some of them these functions here. Instruction list. This is the full instruction list, and this is db. I don't remember what they actually mean though. So db, it's define byte, which is 1 byte, define word, which is 2 words. dd, I can't remember what that one specifically. Resb is for reserved bytes. Okay, thank you. And d is for defined bytes. I mean, it's pretty great that they have this list, but it would be actually great if they explained them here. Okay. And I know that assembler, so the instructions, db for data section, resb for BSS section. Yeah, I remember. I remember when I was looking for BSS sections, so interesting. Byte, word, double word, quadruple word. Thank you. So double word is 4 bytes. Yeah. A quadruple word is 8 bytes. Okay. So, I mean, I could have guessed that, but I'm not sure. I just don't want to assume. And what are DT, DO, DY, DC? So weird. Okay, uninitialized data. The BSS is so interesting. Is that I think the only point to use that BSS section is to save in size of the binary, as far as I know. So you can if you store initialized data, right, in the binary, you also have to store the specific offsets. Nobody gonna understand you, I'm sorry. What I was talking about. When you use data section, you have to store the specific offsets, right? And the data that you want to initialize the specific sections, right? But if you do BSS, it's not initialized. All of that is going to be 0. What you have to do is just to store the offset of that section and the size of that section. And you don't have to store anything, as far as I know. So when I was Googling about BSS section, so the one of the advantages of BSS, if you don't need to initialize anything, it's going to be just 2 numbers. The entire section is just 2 numbers. So RGC is integer, right? And probably that means, oh, by the way, I think that means I can store all of that in BSS section BSS. The initialize data RGC and RGV. Res quadruple. I think we need to use risk quadruple. I still need examples. I need just examples of all of that. So the instructions. Okay, examples. Examples. I want examples. God damn it. Assembler, db, dd, examples. Defined by... Okay, I already know all of that. I mean, in res, if I use res q and res b, why don't they have these in the... It's so fucking annoying. Assembler directive. So if I provide this, I probably have to provide like one the size of the thing that we have to do. Just show me examples, get them. Okay, NASM examples. I remember that I was looking through the examples of NASM samples. Yes, samples, exactly. This is exactly. But this is just 64. What is that I see? Is that AT&T? AT&T is not allowed here. I'm sorry. We're using only Intel syntax. AT&T is forbidden. Where's BSS? Show me BSS. Here's the BSS. Okay. Yes. This is exactly what I was looking for. So I should have to provide just a number. If it's quadruple, so it's a number of 64 bits slots or whatever. What rescue would set aside? I know that. I just didn't know what I have to provide here. That's what I want to know. Okay, RGB is the pointer to the pointer, so it's a pointer. That means I need a rescue one as well. Yes. As in this, I don't follow conversations. This is such an interesting conversation in the chat, but I cannot follow it for some reason because I'm focused on my assembler. Okay, what I want to do, I probably want to move. Can I don't remember how to properly do that, but whatever. Can I just do that? I don't know. I don't know assembler. It's probably doing stupid things. So really forgive me on that. If I do stupid things, I'm just learning. Okay, invalid combination of code and parent. So if I want to move something to memory, write to something to memory, am I able to do that? Though. God damn it. It's probably not. Destination. Source. No, I want to save the value from the register to the memory. Oh. I think we did this simultaneously. Oh, okay, because this is sort of dereference that. Okay, so this is great. It was just simultaneously. I wasn't sure. I thought if I dereference that, right, it will actually put a value from that here, but I think it depends on the context. And yeah, keyword, I don't think you have to provide that if sort of the type of the variable is known. So what I mean is that it knows that it's like 8 bytes, so it doesn't complain about that. Or something like that. I'm not sure. ARM registers for me to use instead. I mean, x86 Strongly typed, awesome. x86 also has those registers, like numbered registers or something. So we can use them. RDI, RSI, right, we can save them. And compiles. You actually created a website in assembler. I thought it was a joke. No, yeah, I'm creating. It's not a joke. I really want to learn assembler, and yeah. Okay. I don't know why I'm saving that. I just want to have that in memory. I wonder if I can see the values of those variables in the you don't need keyword here, but not because of resq, but because of RDI. Oh, it's just a pointer, but RDI says is known. Yeah. So it's still kind of strongly typed. Yeah, unfortunately, since a general purpose register aren't that general. Yeah. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to compile that. So we already compiled that, and let's put that through GDB. And I want to put a break here. Okay, here we go. A website in bytecode. No, please. No more challenges like that. Okay, I'm gonna go. So I think I can just say print. RGB, they are 0 right now, so it recognizes them, which is very great. So we can double check that. So I can provide something that doesn't exist, it will complain, but if something exists, it prints that. So let's go next, and now I can try to print that then. Oh, it's yeah, I'm sorry, it's my bad. RGC, it's 1, and if I print RGB, it's some pointer, but I wonder if I can dereference pointers in GDB. Cannot access the. This is it for web dev where templates are shared object. Yeah, I remember that. It's kind of interesting. Okay. What I'm thinking is I just stored all of that in memory, right? Can I do that like sort of an opposite operation now? And try to print it. Oh, so the first argument is going to be FMT. So the next weird challenge would be to create a Morgan to bytecode compiler. Yes, C is weak typed, right? Don't remember those things. Yeah, I think it weak typed because you can take, for example, a string and interpret it as a number. It's called type panning, I think. Type panning. The fact that type panning is possible is C, I think this is like one of the arguments why C is weakly typed. Because you can just take the data, interpret it as like anything you want. Which is not possible in some of the languages. Oh, this is actually a pretty good question. I just didn't think about like print. I don't know. I already quit it, I'm sorry. FMT, and let's try to RGC. Okay. So let's just try to break something. Break and run it. Next. So let's try to print RGC. Oh, it doesn't know that syntax. RGB, yeah. But I think it supports the dereferencing, but you see, it's kind of weird. It says that cannot access, and I'm kind of worried that I probably did something wrong. So whatever. And let's call Yeah, it actually printed what we wanted. It printed the full thing though. God damn it, can you just go to GTP, please? God damn it. Why do you keep... No, I don't like it. Okay. Another thing that I want to do is probably maybe compile. I don't understand. Something's wrong. Wait a second. Something is clearly wrong. I don't understand what. RDI, RSI. Okay, so I already can feel that I'm fading out. Because you can see I'm already tired. Just straight up. Let's run it and next. Because RC should contain the amount of numbers. That's the point. But instead, but it prints everything correctly. That's the weird thing. Okay. So what I want to do, FMT. Okay, so let me call it program name. Program name. And then just a number. Go just a number. Number and D, like that. So instead of program name, I want to actually use number and dereference that thing. So I should see just one argument. I hope. I really hope. God, I need to quit it. Let's just try to compile it. It compiles and number 1. And if I provide, for example, more arguments, it's 3. Do you have this kind of donations which affect the game a streamer is playing? Have no idea what it's called, because I would love to tweak your goal a bit, make Web7 in assembly without using libc. I don't think I accept donations like right in the stream. I accept donation on Patreon though, but I mean I want to enable donations someday, but it's kind of a hassle just to set everything up. So maybe one day. Really sorry. Okay. So what I mean, it's not that hard to remove printf and use write. Yeah, probably, but you see, it's convenient. Like when you want to type, like when you want to write a number, right? If you want to print a number on standard output, you have to actually manually, convert it to a string, and it actually means organizing a loop. And organizing the loop is, oh my god, I don't even want to think about organizing the loop. So I'm gonna use a printf. So I mean, I already mentioned that eventually I want to get rid of the standard library of C dependency, and you like make it sort of the application depends on the system calls of the Linux or something like that. But it's in the future. I just want to get something working first, because as you can see, we don't even have anything working yet. Okay. I wonder. You see, I print a argc. This is the counter of the arguments. If I provide number here, it prints everything correctly, right? It's correct. Everything is fine. But if I provide program name, which is supposed to print the name of the program, and try to compile that and run it. Oh, it's segmentation fault. Okay, this is exactly what I expected to see. This is great. For some reason, I didn't see the segmentation fault. Okay. I had those servers that write all their JS code in a single in the civil servers. JS code. I think it looks like a minimized code. So people usually minimize their JavaScript code, so it's small and doesn't consume traffic too much. Cat pictures website, obviously, photos, what you want. Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. Because for some reason, when I did that before, it didn't fail, but actually printed something meaningful, and this shouldn't happen. So yeah, it's gonna be number. It's okay. Once I have that, gotta show that cats first. That's true. So okay, we saved IRGC. Now I want to compare them. I want to compare what's inside IRGC with. I'm not sure if I can do that because I don't refer to any of the registers. But okay, I want a CMP too. Let's try to compile that and see what the compiler says. Yeah, operation size not specified, and this is interesting because probably here I have to actually specify keyword. Yes, yeah, because you see, it's the size of all of that is not known, and I'm really worried if I'm not using any registers here. Is it gonna be slow? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't think no. Alright, sending JS code uncompiled is insufficient. Yes, that is true. It's not really called compiled. I think it's minimized. They call it minimizing. Can you also write 2 in another way such that it has a particular number, a particular size? You think add a prefix keyword here? Is that what you mean? God damn it. And you say that you don't troll me, right? Excuse me. I need to learn about GMP. Transfers program control to different point. Oh, it's just GMP. It's unconditional, so I don't need really unconditional. Why didn't they group conditional ones? Conditional jump. God damn it. GM. GCC, is that right? Is that the conditional one? If condition, okay. Oh, okay, I see. So it's sort of like a family of instructions. I see. Oh, and so I just realized less than. This is the convention, like less, less or equal or greater than equal, less, and not above, and then it jumps to a certain location. Not equal, but I think no. We want that is less than 2. I think we want less than 2. That means we just want GAL. GL for less. Yep, my example didn't apply to x86. Okay, so we just compare and we want GL. How to better do all of that? So if it's less than 2, we want to print something. We want to print an exit. If it's equal to 2 or greater, we want to jump over that stuff. Okay, so we're gonna have a sort of a chunk here that starts here and ends here, and we want to be able to bypass it, and we need some kind of label here. Aux check. We thought the exact opposite. So I wouldn't just. So I wanted to look like a if constructor. So like that. Uh-huh. So that means it's j greater or equal to. That means we want to jump to args check. And if it didn't jump, right? I want to even call it begin end, so it's sort of visible. Maybe if argc less than 2. I'm programming in Pascal, as you can see. And what do I want to do? I want to print something. Probably need usage. Yes. I need usage. db usage web app port. It's something in Perl. He's suggesting, or she, I don't want to assume gender. They suggest something in Perl, pretty much. Okay. Did you mean Pastember? It's a good one, thank you. Yeah, I meant exactly that. So, move. So we want to print something on like standard error. A standard error is 2. Oh boy, I cannot. I just realized that I cannot use. Okay, I can use dprintf. RDI, it's 2, and what we need is we also need to RSI and usage. Right. We don't have any formatting arguments, so that means we can just call to dprintf. It's pretty much. Sorry, sorry for making those sounds. Okay, let's try to compile. It compiles. This is already something great, isn't it? Okay, I want to print something after that just to indicate that everything is okay. Don't worry. I want to move RDI. I'm starting to remember the orders of the arguments. RDI program name, move RCI RGV. But I think, can I double dereference it? I wonder, and call printf. I cannot, okay. So it's not possible. Okay, so let's just see if it works. Web app. Oh, this is interesting. So it didn't work. The jump didn't fucking work. Surprisingly enough. Sick folding time. Yes. Okay, let's just use number. I'm so stupid. I have to do the following: move 1 because it has to exit with 1. I'm pretty sure that we return arguments via rex. Yeah, we return arguments via rex, and we have to return. Do we have to pop or BP? I don't know why we do that. I saw that in all of the examples. I don't really understand why we do that. But okay, I'm gonna do that anyway. And if I provide, we can probably print it, but I'm not sure. Okay. I think I'm gonna keep those. By the way, can I indent those things to save the previous function stuff? Okay. I want to indent that. Can I do that? I can, so I'm gonna indent it. I'm gonna do that because it's more readable. I think I'm gonna even do something like that. No, it's not ready. Okay, that better. This is assembler. I mean, this is still assembler. What are you talking about? Um, the assembler compiler still produces something from that. So, okay, this is great. So we can already check on that. But I really want to print the what we provided there. I think. So I'm not sure if it's possible to easily do all of that. But so let's actually try first make the program name working, and then later maybe it's gonna be a little bit easier. You mean PassAssembler? Yeah, it's PassAssembler. Exactly. And yeah, it doesn't work. Yes, this is exactly what I was looking for. Because it's a pointer to the pointer. That's why it prints the garbage from the memory. So basically, what we need to do, we probably want to move that to RDI, right? Rename the stream Russian man to man probably. I think I'm gonna finish soon because it's already 3 hours and I'm just falling asleep. But I want to finish, came to the conclusion with my thoughts. So I move a reference from here. Can I do the following thing? I just want to see if I can. I can, and that means then I'm gonna reuse RDI for the program name. So I just need to double dereference something. And I cannot just use it on the assembler level, so I have to use intermediate register to do that. I'm not sure if it's gonna work though, but I'm gonna see. It works. I just did the double dereference using the intermediate register. I'm so fucking smart. I have glasses, you know. Can you do... Probably could. God damn it, I'm not that smart. God damn it. I could have just do that. God damn it, I'm not smart. I overcomplicated everything. But this is not exactly what I want. I want to print the second thing. So that means I have to not just dereference that, but how to work with offsets. I don't remember. NASM offsets. Yeah, I'm really tired. You can already tell. Effective address. So if I do +1, right? Yeah, I know about Godball. Thank you. I don't want to use it because it's a challenge, isn't it? Excuse me. Effective address is any parent to an instruction which... how the heck does one make a website in Assembler? It's pretty easy. This is how you do it. Basically, we are first implementing an HTTP server in Assembler. And once we have that, we're going to implement the website in Assembler. So it's sort of a challenge. Don't ask why. We're just having fun. I'm trying to understand how to do offsets. I don't really understand. An effective address is any operand to an instruction which reference memory. Effective address and NASM have a very simple syntax. They consist of an expression evaluating to the desired address, including the square brackets, for example. Okay, anything not conferring this simple system is not a valid memory reference. You're crazy. Why people say I'm crazy? Like I hear it every time. Oh, you said I'm sorry. I'm not following the conversation. Memory segments. Okay, so what I want to do. So in RSI, right? RGB contains a pointer to pointer. So basically, RGB is a pointer, like in C, it's a pointer to pointer. When we do these, right, we're storing a pointer to pointer. So from the, thanks for following XJ Power X. From the assembly perspective, RGB is a pointer to a pointer to a pointer, right? So when I dereference that, right, I want to just do an offset. Interesting channel, thank you. But I want to just take the... Okay, I think I cannot do it anymore, honestly. I think I'm going to stop here because I already streamed for 3 hours and my brain is just shutting down. I cannot finish that. Okay, this is what we managed to do. We implemented only checking the arguments. Oh, okay, so I guess you can dereference RSI at the beginning and then... this is exactly what I'm trying, pointer to pointer to pointer. Yes. What I'm thinking about is that an array of arrays, yeah. Let me just try. If it's something that I can do, it's just +8, I think, if I want to take the second one. I'm not sure where I have to put that. That's the problem. Maybe I have to put it here. So let's try to guess. I don't like to guess stuff. Oh, at least it compiles. Okay, this is already something. Yes! Thank you, Bivaf. Like, thank you. You always help me so much in the streams, especially at the end of the streams when I just can't think at all. Like, oh my god. Thank you so much. So, we actually managed to check command line arguments and print the port. We also have to convert it to a number though, but this is another story. We can actually try to do that. God damn it! I need to stop, but I can't. A to E. So I'm pretty sure. So RCI never stop. It's gonna be fucking difficult though. It's not hardcore enough, right? So I have to organize my own loop and convert. But my brain can't think anymore, so it's just easy for me to use A to E. I'm sorry. So let's just remove all of that. So I move RDI. I speak very good English. Thank you. I don't think so actually, because I have a Slavic accent, not Slovenian, Slavic accent. I still have Slavic accent. When I like watch myself in the recording, I can just hear it. What I'm doing. Thanks for waking me up, but I don't can't read the name. I'm sorry. Okay. RDI. Thanks for following Blue87. Really appreciate it. It's not that strong. Okay, thank you. Does pointer arithmetic does with RGB when arrays are the variable length? I think so. Like, this is exactly what we did. I'm not sure what I'm saying. Why are you using assembler? Just call into in. God damn it! I'm not gonna read any further. So now in RDI we have the pointer to a number. And now we call A to E, and we have to see the result in the rex register. So we could have just print rex register, but I think it's just easier to look up the register in the debugger. So we're gonna quickly do that, and I'm gonna wrap up the stream. So let's just compile, right, and let's do GDB web app run, and also need to break my neck. Okay, and just run. Okay, we're going. Next. Thanks for following. Bonjour, 5 today. Bonjour. Salut, ça va? Less than 2 became great. Thanks for following, faithful follower. Okay, I'm just trying to not fall asleep. Okay. So many followers. Thank you, René Kilo. Thank you. It's parle français. I don't know how to speak French. I'm really sorry. So what I want to in 4 registers, right? So in 4 registers. So racks should contain garbage. And this is exactly the case. It just contains garbage. Now, right before the call, we call A to E. And now let's look up registers. Racks should contain 8080. This is exactly the case. So we actually managed to perform A to E call and convert the number. I remember that it's not correct. Du fromage. I think you have to use au or something. So it's not grammatically correct. Yes, we finally did that. So as you, yeah, it's 88. I kind of still want to continue, but I'm already falling asleep. Okay, maybe we can do something more because it feels so addictive, like French touring is coming. What I wanted to. Are you guys all French? Seriously? So main C. So now we have to create a socket. Socket. God damn it! I wanna eat something. Okay, so I think that's enough. So I'm gonna. I think I need to stop from here. Oh, by the way, I need to set up some git ignore things. Thanks for following, paid Speculus. Really appreciate that. What am I doing? Git ignore. Okay, git ignore. We need to ignore all of the O files and web app file. I think I already fucked up everything that I could, like with my scheduling and stuff. Because recently I started to go to bed at 6 a.m., which is pretty fucking sad, and I can't do anything. Don't leave us or come back more often, one or other. So I would actually like to stream more, but I think the 2 times per week is just optimal for me. If I do more, I usually burn out myself really quickly, so I just don't want to really stream more than twice per week. I'm really sorry, because it's really difficult for me. Okay. So how am I gonna... Oh, god damn it. It's trailing white spaces. I didn't set that thing up. White spaces. Yeah. So basically what we have here, I probably have to do the following thing. Or maybe later. Okay, I'm gonna just commit everything and call it a day. Maybe the days you don't stream, I will stream. Oh, that's a pretty good idea. Website and assembly, I tried directly. Okay. Um, please let me know when you start to stream, like, yourself. I'll actually watch. So what I want to say, implement argument, parse port argument in ASM. That's what we implemented, and that's what we're going to push today. I challenge you to program in. God damn it. I guess I have to just, I don't know, get used to that, to those jokes about assembly. After all, this is exactly. God, oh my gosh. It's fucked up, the formatting, fortunately. Okay. And I'm gonna merge it. I don't know why I'm creating pull requests. It only makes sense to do that if you have continuous integration. But I think we have to set up the continuous integration. So let me create an issue for that. Because yeah, code review not passed. So we probably, yeah, we also need to set up some unit testing and everything, because why not? Okay, if anybody of you is interested in taking a look at the code yourself, so here's the source code, and yeah, everything I do on the streams, it's open source. I always try to open source everything I do in the streams, so you can look at yourself. Okay, I guess that's it for today. Thanks everyone who's watching right now. I really appreciate that. The next stream is going to be on Wednesday. If you're new, because I see new people, so many new people. Here's the schedule. I have a schedule. So the next stream is going to be on Wednesday, and yeah, the last stream about the website in December is going to be on September 13th. And for the next stream schedule, we usually do a poll. So yeah, don't forget to participate in that. Okay, that's it for the day. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Bye bye.